thing to say during the meeting in progress. I thought it's better for me to just have this session with you all so that we finish our business first for the day. And see you at this hour. Sorry for keeping waiting. Friends, we have just concluded 4 ministers meeting today in conjunction with the 47th ASEAN Summit as follows. The first one is ASEAN Foreign Ministers Meeting, AMM. The second one is 30th ASEAN Political Security Community, APAC Council Meeting. The third one, 37th ASEAN Coordinating Council Meeting, ACC. And the last one just now was ASEAN Joint Foreign and Economic Minister Meeting. This is the first time that we have this joint meeting, Foreign Ministers and Economic Ministers Meeting, as suggested by our Prime Minister during the opening of our AMM meeting last July. During AMM meeting, we reiterated our shared commitment to advancing ASEAN community building with a stronger focus on implementation. So enough of declaration, enough of MOU, enough of, but now is we are focusing on how do we implement it. So this also part of this ASEAN Community Vision 2045. The adoption of ASEAN 2045, our shared future, provides us with a clear and forward-looking direction to guide our collective efforts. The meeting reiterated the importance of upholding ASEAN centrality in leading regional efforts and in facing challenges. During the meeting, we touched on Myanmar. ASEAN continues to reaffirm that 5-point consensus remains as the main reference in addressing the situation in Myanmar. On the election, the meeting agreed the election must be fair, transparent, inclusive, and credible, and we urged the need for inclusive dialogue prior to the elections. On sending ASEAN observers team, we go to deliberate at a senior officers level, and they will report back to us. We reaffirm the importance of continuity in ASEAN's efforts vis-a-vis Myanmar and discuss the proposal to revise the duration of the term of the Special Envoy of ASEAN on Myanmar. We agreed to task the senior official to further deliberate on the proposal. We expressed the need to strengthen collaboration with the AHA Center to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches those most in need in accordance with ASEAN's humanitarian principles. We appreciate the contribution by ASEAN member states, external partners, and the United Nations and the private sector towards elevating the humanitarian situation in Myanmar. We touch on the serious threat of transnational crimes emanating from Myanmar to the region. On Timor-Leste's full membership in ASEAN, we witnessed Timor-Leste depositing 2 instruments as follows. Number 1, the instrument of the accession to the ASEAN Charter, and the second one, the instrument of accession to the Treaty on the Southeast Asia Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone, SONFES. On external relations, we underscored the importance of strengthening ASEAN unity and centrality in our engagement with external partners through the various ASEAN-led mechanisms. On the second one, the ASEAN Political Security Community APAC Council meeting. The meeting discussed the recent developments in sectoral bodies under the APAC pillar. We adopted the report of the APAC Council to the 47th ASEAN Summit and endorsed the end-term review report on the APAC Blueprint 2025. We reaffirmed the commitment to fully implement the 2045 APAC Strategic Plan and improve its implementation based on the recommendation of end-term review. We underscored ASEAN's collective efforts in building trust among security agencies, strengthen cooperation in combating transnational crimes, uphold the rule of law, and ensure that the protection of human rights remains central to ASEAN's community building efforts. Meeting on in ASEAN meeting across in harnessing marine and aquatic resources responsibly and exclusively. With regard to ASEAN Joint Foreign and Economic Ministers meeting, AMM and AEM. Now, the meeting was convened at the initiative of the Honorable Prime Minister during the opening of the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting on 9 July 2025 for greater synergy between the ASEAN Foreign Ministers and ASEAN Economic Ministers and across ASEAN pillars in an increasingly fragmented world. The Foreign Minister and Economic Ministers, as well as representatives, were briefed by the ASEAN Geo-Economic Task Force, AGTF, on the current geopolitical and geoeconomic landscape, which is characterized by increasing protectionism, shifting global power dynamics, and overlapping crises. The ministers heard the recommendation by AGTF, including for ASEAN to deepen ASEAN integration, enhance ASEAN's agency, and reinforce multilateralism. The ministers also tasked senior officials in coordination with the ASEAN Secretariat to discuss the recommendation made by AGTF and submit their assessment and propose way forward. Besides those meetings, we have also the signing ceremony of the Instrument of Accession to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, or TAC. We also witnessed the signing of the Instrument of Accession to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, or TAC, by Finland. This event marked Finland's accession as the newest high contracting party to the treaty, bringing the total number of parties to 58. So 58 already. Supposed to be 2 countries. Cyprus last minute didn't make it. In conclusion, our recommendations agreed at minister level today will be submitted to ASEAN leaders for deliberation and approval. Thank you. So thank you. So I can go back. Yes.
I have 2 questions. I'm down here from Phoenix TV. I have 2 questions. The first question is AGTF was established in response to the tariffs imposed by the United States President Trump. So after more than half a year research, it submitted the report. What good suggestions are there for ASEAN to deal with the issues such as the tariffs?
Thank you. Would you? We will follow up the official level. We will reach by the order. Second question.
The second question is, you mentioned the new politics increasingly connected with new economics. So now that China and the US, the trade negotiation is ongoing in November, how do you view this negotiation between the two countries? And could you tell us, the Foreign Minister, what kind of expectations do you have for the negotiations? Thank you.
We had a big discussion on trade between the US and China. I don't have any expectation, but we hope that we cross our finger that China and the US will come to this. Right?
Do you optimistic for the result?
Very much. It's good for the whole world and also for this region. Okay?
Thank you. My name is Oyana. I'm from the Russian news agency.
Well, it comes so far.
Yes. Thank you for having us here today. Congratulations on the success of today's agenda. I have one question for you. Earlier today, you remarked that it's becoming harder and harder for ASEAN to maintain its neutrality amidst global tensions. Has ASEAN, under your chairmanship, and Malaysia as well, experienced any concrete pressure to leave behind the neutrality? Thank you.
Not so much harder per se, but as you know that now that a lot of this so-called platform, the traditional platform of multilateralism, be dismantled, more on bilateral, more on unilateral, all this kind of thing. So we have to navigate ASEAN properly so much so that we maintain our neutrality. The window has become narrow. So ASEAN should put our weight together so that we are not succumb to any pressure for any side for them.
Hi, thank you. I'm Dave Rising with the Associated Press. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how the trade agreement that is expected to be signed tomorrow with the U.S. differs from the simple tariff negotiations that have already taken place. And I don't know whether it came up with your meetings with the economy ministers, but is Malaysia's success in coming up with this trade deal something that is seen as maybe a template or guidance for other ASEAN members that are currently in negotiations?
This is between Malaysia and US. You are referring to trade?
Correct.
Well, we know a little bit, I know a little bit, but basically this is under the purview of this Ministry of Trade and Economy. But I hope that we can conclude the trade deal between US and Malaysia. And what we enjoyed today, 90%, and also zero tariff on E&E. Because 60% of Malaysia's export to US is all in the form of E&E. So if we can maintain that, we are very big.
And just is the other ASEAN countries are also in negotiations with the U.S. Is Malaysia's negotiation that is successfully now concluded seen as one that can be used as guidance for others?
I'm not so sure. I cannot be speaking on behalf of other countries, but Malaysia and the rest will be good to sign a trade deal tomorrow.
You just for the kind of Bureau. I have two questions for you. First, with a new global alignment emerging, how can ASEAN work with partners such as Russia to advance shared development goals? And second question is, what would Malaysia consider a successful outcome to this summit? Thank you.
Let me answer your second question. So we are very happy that we're going to hand over our championship to Philippines in 2 months' time. But 2 days' time that we're going to give the level to Philippines. But we have to finish up our term as chairman of ASEAN up to 20 end of December. With regard to relationship with other powers such as Russia, as I mentioned, Malaysia especially and ASEAN for that matter, we maintain our neutrality. Malaysia especially, we are open economy, or economy based on trade, trade with everybody, except for those that have been sanctioned by United Nations. Otherwise, we have no issue with other countries. We maintain good rapport. So do ASEAN.
Dato' Sri, selamat petang. Nak tanya, saya Samantha dari UTAMA. Adakah mesyuarat yang tadi ada membincangkan jemputan Myanmar agar negara anggota menghantar pemerhati pilihan raya?
Itu je soalan dia.
Ada lagi? Perjanjian KL Accord tu ada yang mendakwa dia bukan perjanjian damai tetapi lanjutan gencatan senjata. So mungkin Datuk Sri boleh berikan apa antara kandungan utama yang akan dapat dalam dokumen itu. Terima kasih.
Sebab Myanmar, saya dah beritahu tadi bahawa ada juga disentuh tentang dalam kita berbincangkan tentang 5 point consensus, kerana itu fix agenda kita punya EMM. Disentuh juga berkenaan dengan jemputan Myanmar. Sebenarnya Myanmar menjemput negara-negara ASEAN dan jemputan pun telah dihantar untuk negara-negara ASEAN menghantar pemerhati semasa mereka mengadakan pilihan raya yang fasa pertama pada 28 Disember 25 ini. Kita bincang dan kita mahu supaya peringkat pegawai tinggi berbincang lebih lanjut lagi untuk kita dapat memberikan pandangan dan keputusan yang teliti untuk kali ini. Yang keduanya tadi berkenaan dengan kandungan KL Accord ni sebenarnya bukannya perjanjian damai. Ia adalah merupakan perjanjian gencatan senjata dan juga berkenaan dengan penubuhan ASEAN Observers Team ataupun pasukan pemerhati ASEAN di kawasan yang berkolap. Kita mahu supaya gencatan senjata yang telah pun diadakan sejak daripada Julai selepas kedua-dua Perdana Menteri Cambodia dan Thailand datang dan setuju untuk mengadakan gencatan senjata. Kita mahu supaya tidak ada lagi pelanggaran gencatan senjata. Kerana selepas daripada 28 Julai tersebut, walaupun gencatan senjata telah diadakan, tapi terdapat juga orang kata pelanggaran kecil. Walaupun mereka tak pakai senjata api, tapi mereka pakai lastik pula. Jadi kita nak supaya gencatan senjata ini dan antara dia punya kandungan yang besar iaitu gencatan senjata ini dapat dikekalkan dan dapat diimplementasi dengan baik ialah kedua-dua buah negara to remove untuk mengeluarkan senjata berat masing-masing daripada kawasan yang berkenaan. Dan kedua adalah supaya kedua-dua negara melakukan usaha untuk demining ataupun mengeluarkan dan memusnahkan pil-pil api yang telah ditanam di sepadan kedua negara. Itu antara dua perkara yang besar yang akan dicapai. Kita berharap supaya gencatan senjata ini akan berkekalan dan kita menyeru supaya kedua-dua negara berusaha berunding duduk semeja untuk mereka menyelesaikan masalah sempadan di kedua-dua negara. Malaysia tidak akan campur tangan dalam perkara berkenaan persepadan dan dua negara. Itu adalah merupakan perkara yang antara kedua negara. Dan Malaysia menghormati piagam ASEAN iaitu tidak boleh campur tangan dalam jua hal ehwal dalaman negara masing-masing.
Saya Ichio Shima from TBC Brand and Japanese Translator.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Arigatou.
Semasa.
I have a follow-up question on Myanmar.
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 Atau Myanmar sudah
I have one more.
Oh, one more.
Yes. the establishment of the permanent office for the special envoy and the extension of the duration special envoy have been discussed well since January. And the Minister just explained that the discussion go further and there's a discussion extending the duration. Do you think there's a possibility to extend the duration to, for example, 3 years or 1 year? And if in that case, do you think there's a possibility to increase the number of special envoy to 2 from 1, like current one from current tier country, and the second envoy from the tier country from last year?
Very ambitious. Yes, we discussed about the special envoy to the chair of ASEAN, or to Myanmar. We discussed because it was mooted during the AMM last July. There's few school of thought whether to extend to fixed tenure, let's say 3 years, or fixed special envoy. But the question is, now under our 5-point consensus, that special envoy to the chair of ASEAN. But if it's 3 years, what are we to call it? Then he's responsible too. So we're going to deliberate, senior officers again, going to revisit and to discuss this matter, but it's no urgency. There's no urgency whether or not we're going to have a fixed tenure of special envoy or 1 year. But we have agreed that all ASEAN member countries, member states, should participate and assist whoever going to be the special envoy to the chair. But that one we going to support because Myanmar is an fixed agenda in our meeting, be it AMM or the scale of state meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lagi tak ada apa-apa. Bagus. Yes. Berapa kali nak tanya?
Tak, saya tadi nak confirmation yang perjanjian gencatan senjata tu, adakah akan sign di sini jika akan ada perubahan?
Tahu boleh baca orang.
Jadi tak apalah Dato' Sri,
No, you mean kata di sini, this building.
di sign di sini.
Dia tanda tangan tu confirm akan ditandatangani. Tapi di mana saya tak boleh beritahu kan?
Kalau ikut jadual itinerary tu, memang ada satu slot sign di sini. So,
Ya.
that's fine. Baik.
Kalau ada perubahan nanti saya beritahu.
Okay, terima kasih.
Naik perjanjian Dato' Sri adakah akan ditandatangani oleh PM Thailand? Sebab ada laporan mengatakan dia minta dipercepatkan ke sebelah pagi.
Macam mana?
Adakah akan ditandatangani oleh PM Thailand?
Ya.
Pagi dia tak dapat hadir kan? Dia akan hadir esok. Dan ada laporan mengatakan dia minta perjanjian itu dipercepatkan ke sebelah pagi.
Perdana Menteri Thailand tak boleh hadir dari keluarga diraja Thailand dekat kepada semua rakyat Thailand. Dan akan dijangka tiba pada malam ini. Dan kita sedang mengundingkan masa yang sesuai kerana masa ini banyak bergantung kepada jadual Presiden Trump. Kita dah ada kita punya jadual, tapi kita tak tahu jadual dia macam mana. So kita akan lihat macam mana nanti apabila Presiden Trump telah tiba di sini, sama ada ataupun kita mengubah sesuai masanya. Tapi jelas sekali bahawa pagi besok kita akan ada kita punya 47 summit. Masa itu akan ada sidang plenary dan retreat, dan sebelah petang akan ada special summit dengan US. Lepas tu ada sebelum itu Japan, summit Jepun ASEAN, India ASEAN, dan ada juga summit ASEAN Zero Emission Community dan ASEAN India. So kita terpaksa campur adukkan kerana selalunya dalam mesyuarat ketua negara ni hari pertama tu simply for ASEAN punya business. Tapi kerana macam Jepun, Perdana Menteri Jepun yang baru datang, terpaksa segera balik ke Tokyo kerana Presiden Trump akan ke Tokyo. Presiden India pula dia nak balik awal, tapi last minute dia tak dapat. Tapi kita dah fixkan bahawa beliau akan ambil bahagian dalam ASEAN India Summit melalui talian.
Konnichiwa again from Japanese newspaper Yomiuri Shimbun. Thank you for today. Frankly speaking, can ASEAN reach a common position on whether to recognize or admit Myanmar's election?
Oh, you ask me frankly speaking, all this while you think I'm not being frankly speaking. Why you ask me? Why you come here? You think that I'm not frank enough?
I want to know.
As I mentioned just now, that we already instructed or we already tasked our senior officers to monitor and to report to us. And special envoy is a very big task to report president. Because to us, we remain firm on this election must be fair, transparent, and inclusive. That is the principle of ASEAN. More, less than that, I think quite difficult for ASEAN to particularly recognize the election. That's why we encourage the government to have dialogue with the stakeholders, and stakeholders be allowed to participate in the election. Okay? That's not strong enough below. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Sri. In the event that Myanmar
That's about Myanmar, that's anything I said Myanmar.
the event that, there's signs that the election might not be fair and inclusive, will ASEAN have take a position on whether or not to recognize the legitimacy of the election? And also, will we see other trade deals between the US and other ASEAN countries aside from Malaysia tomorrow?
That's why I said, I mentioned just now that we ask our senior officer to really study and to really particularly check this election in Myanmar, what is the situation there, whether the election is fair, transparent, and inclusive. The position of the ASEAN, as I mentioned, is very clear. Yeah, the one just now about trade, what people. Other ASEAN countries, actually, I don't know. I cannot be speaking on behalf of other countries. But Malaysia, US, yes, we're going to have our trade agreement with US. Yep. Okay, terima kasih. Arigato, Smaita.
Okay, one more question.
Suddenly you wake up.
Just in time. Thank you. Leonardo Pape for German newspaper DATO. I have two questions.
Yes.
One is, will there actually be any more joint communication in ASEAN to take a common position in the trade conflict with the United States? Because there were actually thoughts to find a common position against the tariff threats, and afterwards all the countries seem to just unilaterally make trade deals with the US. But so is there any more attempt to actually find a common position among ASEAN?
We did discuss about trade or tariff issue during our meeting. And it is good for each individual country to have their own step in dealing with the US. And I think President Trump, for that matter, he is rather comfortable to deal bilaterally rather than bilaterally. So that there's no common statement from ASEAN on that issue.
And the other question is, tomorrow also EU Council President Antonio Costa is coming here. At least as far as I know. What is the ASEAN relation with the EU going to develop like? And how do you see the EU as a partner?
We invited EU President as a guest object for this summit. And for your information, ASEAN now is the final stage of negotiating ASEAN EU FTA. And I think we're progressing very well. Hopefully that we can conclude this FTA ASEAN EU soon. All right. Thank you. Terima kasih.